We've covered this before. There are areas in BC that are simply not known for appreciable amounts of snow, and for that reason, people from around Canada choose to relocate there to avoid said snow. Hi, I'm Chris May, host of This Day in Weather History, a podcast from the Weather Network in Canada. Today's episode features a podcast video short that you can watch today on the Weather Network on television or online at theweathernetwork.com/weather history. Check it out. Chilliwack, BC recorded what they would normally see in a year of snowfall totals, but it happened in only 72 hours. And it was on this day in weather history. It was referred to as, quote, storm to remember. It was a period where the whole lower mainland and lower Fraser were deep in this one. The prior weekend was a right good thrashing of snow for the city of Vancouver, so there had to have been some sympathy for Chilliwack when they were socked with 77 centimeters of snow in just 72 hours. The storm caused tens of thousands of outages across the south coast over the February 4th and 5th weekend. At its peak, there were as many as 128,000 people who were without power. And on the roads, the Fraser Bridge was closed for a short period of time on Sunday afternoon because of the lingering conditions. Going into the next school week on Monday the 6th, many schools in the Fraser Valley stayed closed, including the University of the Fraser Valley, Langley, Chilliwack, Abbotsford, Hope, Mission, and Maple Ridge Pitt Meadows school districts all closed. This was a shock to many in Chilliwack. Their mayor, Sharon Getz, who called this the storm to remember, was warning residents to stay home from work if conditions continued to worsen. And boy, did they ever worsen. She said at the time, quote, "We really are at the mercy of the elements," end quote. And for a municipality that typically only gets about 85 centimeters of snowfall in an entire year, residents were now faced with digging out from under nearly 80 centimeters of snow that had fallen over just the past 3 days. So let's just take a look at how it played out. The snowstorm began Friday with 34.5 centimeters accumulating in the first 24 hours alone. They knew something was up by this point. This was not going to be a normal snowfall for their town, as they normally would be seeing rain at this time of year. But then, another 42.8 centimeters fell on Saturday. So by 8:20 in the morning on Sunday, a shockingly heavy 77 centimeters of snow had fallen in Chilliwack since it started on Friday the 3rd. But it was still not done. By Monday morning at that very same time, the total had popped to 81.2 centimeters that had fallen. Still not over yet. The Fraser Valley stayed under Environment Canada issued snowfall warnings through Sunday because there was still the potential for yet another 5 to 15 centimeters that would fall through the evening. And even at that, there was snow in their forecast every day until Thursday, February the 9th. The city of Chilliwack had 2 35-person teams working around the clock, plus 8 independent contractors they leaned on to assist in the cleanup of the roads, which were flat out impassable. Mayor Getz again quoted as saying, "We simply can't keep up. People are struggling, especially when people can't get to the ends of their streets, and there are huge walls of snow. Therefore, the hiring of an all-hands-on-deck was essential to get this cleared because it was now a dangerous situation." With the snow and the wind that caused the widespread power loss, the city opened a warming center and began providing free sandbags to residents, along with a reminder to keep their storm drains clear because, after all, this is Chilliwack, as I mentioned, known for rain, so guaranteed when this snow melts, it will likely be accompanied by rain. Clogged storm drains under all that snow will only result in mass flooding. The Weather Network reported live from Chilliwack during and after this storm, and our reporter took time to ask locals their take on what happened. Here now is what they had to say shortly after it had ended.
My thoughts are, holy crow, it's time to stop. We are very lucky we live rural and we have a neighbor with a tractor who has cleaned our driveway out. I deliver mail and I'm so lucky I'm on holidays.
Normally Chilliwack doesn't get this kind of weather. This is really unusual. We usually get a lot of rain. Usually if it does snow, it's usually gone within the next couple days, but I've never seen it this much.
It brings back old memories like Cold Lake. We had snow like this, Cold Lake, Alberta, all the time, and I used to drive taxi in it.
I hate it. I grew up on the prairies. Come here so we don't have to put up with this, but whatever, it comes once in a while.
So there you have it. This was a massive amount of snow to fall over a very short period of time, and was felt particularly hard by those people who don't normally get very much snow at all. This one is now part of a long-standing conversation that happened on this day in weather history. Tomorrow is February 5th, and we will stay in this year of 2017, but looking back to the catastrophic avalanche that occurred in the Nuristan province of Afghanistan. The area affected is very remote with difficult access, and even at that, most roads were blocked. 2 helicopters were sent to assist but were unable to land on February 6th due to poor weather conditions, and the only one flight carrying humanitarian supplies landed on the 7th of February. The full story and what it ultimately cost is tomorrow on This Day in Weather History with me, your host, Chris May.